Why, hello everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry being a little late to the video. Before we get into this video, I want to say if you liked the video, to subscribe and like the video. And today I am joined, for these next couple videos, I am joined by my girlfriend, Riley. So without further ado, let me start sharing my screen in Discord so she can see everything. And let's start this. You can see my screen, right? Okay, here we go. Let's listen to the trailer. Oh god, that's gonna look cool. The hunter.
I'm most excited for Strand.
Yeah.
That's going to be super epic just to introduce a new damage type.
What's cool about Strand is it can take so many forms.
The first time players see some new super action for Strand is going to be really exciting.
Yeah.
Strand is this network of metaphysical connections, objects, people,
Past, present, future. Oh my god, this is gonna be amazing.
Anytime a guardian needs to use Strand, revealing all the strands around them, reaching in, weaving weapons.
So we get to actually weave weapons. This reminds me of Season of the Splicer, the Vex network.
Each of the supers kind of reflect that idea, weaving into needles
For the
weaving
warlocks.
into a giant rope.
That's
guard,
gonna be
weaving it
busted
into
for
the
hunters.
claws, revealing it
Titan,
as
bulky.
these
My
strands
Titan
in
right
the
there.
world.
Green was definitely like something that we were excited about because
Poison.
apart from other damage types, it kind of gave it like its own visual language. World strands are the things that are like more organic, flowing. It almost looks like a curtain of strands that flicker in and out of reality.
Yeah, there was speculation that there was poisons. YouTube. This gun, I recognize this gun. I swear to if it's just in the developer thing for the devs, I'm gonna flip a lid because this is the greatest gun. I'm not gonna say what it is.
Of like the strings, like the strands lighting up the world. I think that was when everything kind of started to come together, and like that starts to then influence what's the design, what is the VFX going to look like, what does audio sound like for it.
We really wanted to visually show that there's some sort of order in the universe or some sort of chaos, but when players take it in, they're weaving these weapons of destruction.
When developing Strand, we
It's
wanted
fine.
the emotional fantasy to be based on ropes
Yeah.
and strings, and
That looks like the Mercury inside the Vex stuff. I can't remember the name, but this also looks like Void to me.
mechanical fantasy to be rapid movements, creating objects out of these strands.
Those melees are gonna be
When
busted.
you are in each of your super states, you have these strand elements that are on you that are connected from
That's
above.
gonna look
Things
good
you
on
create
PC.
are constantly revealing
The
this world of
VX.
strands around you.
Threaded Spike, the hunter's melee ability, will bounce between enemies until it can't find anymore, and then it will come back to me. If I press the melee button again, as it comes back to me, I will catch it, and that gives me melee energy for
no!
the next time I want to use it.
No,
As a VFX artist,
no, no. I've been saying in the last few episodes on the podcast, I've been saying that I wanted a melee like that. I've been talking about it for the Titan. Throwing my hammer and getting it back. Come on.
we
Giving
came
it
up
to
with
the
this
hunter.
idea of when it goes out, let's put a bunch of additional communication on it to make it look more dangerous, and when it comes back, we don't add that stuff, and it's simpler, and then it feels less dangerous, and then that's when we know that we did it right, when you're not even questioning it. But getting to that point is definitely a challenge, and each one of the strand abilities I feel like have these little twists in there.
It's so important that you can tell what it is at a moment's notice.
And then as we go through the process, there's revisions and refining it based off of play tests.
Sometimes there are small visual changes, sometimes it's like overall big differences, and I think a good example is the Titan super.
We had this really cool swipe attack that was severing enemies, but it was hard to chase those enemies down. We need a long-range attack for the Titan that is going to enable us to get close the melee attack and attack them. And Suspend was a natural choice for that.
One really cool
Bending.
thing we're introducing with Strand is the ability to suspend combatants. Combatants are lifted up into the air, they're suspended in these strand webs.
Their limbs are now like connected to these invisible
Yeah. Yeah. So this is actually kind of... Okay, no problem. So this is what it's like, chat. Just want to let you guys know this is how edits are. We usually take that part out. I'm going to leave it in there for this part. So this is going to be interesting on how it would work with champs and timers.
strands and they are vulnerable. Then you can then start to set up combos on top of that, or even
Okay.
just
You don't need to tell me.
take a breath
You can just go.
moment.
That really gives you and then your fire team members an opportunity to kind of set up 1-2 punch kind of combos. Sometimes you can use it more as utility.
1.1 2-punch combos such as the shotgun.
And provide support for your team, and so I think that's going to create like a lot of opportunities where Strand's going to be valuable no matter what. I think it was really that moment where everything kind of like clicked, and we're like everyone on the team was like, oh, I get what Strand is now.
A big part of Strand looking at the concept art that we tried to clue into was the idea of cosmic webs. What do cosmic webs sound like?
That was Titan.
Anything that kind of evoked this feeling of tension and pulling. Things like recording us rubbing on plastics, leather gloves.
We would string out a big sheet of plastic wrap and running our fingers along it in really weird performative ways.
We actually start taking these sounds and combining them together and creating new things that are starting to sound a little bit more like something that could be put into the game.
That's just kind of the fun part of the sound design process that really brings everything together.
Some wacky things have happened as we've developed Strands, interactions we didn't necessarily anticipate. When you pick up a tangle and you throw it, you can grapple to that tangle, and you're sailing through the air after this tangle, which can then hit an enemy, blow them up, and then you just swoop in and follow up.
Designers will find these bugs that will come back and be like, oh, actually you can do this, and you're like, let's double down on that, you know? Let's make that bug a feature.
Glad they released playtesting.
One of the coolest things about the way that we work at Bungie is we will take someone's awesome idea, and through playtesting, through iteration, we can keep tweaking it and make the idea better.
And then as we start to add the animation support, the
Yeah, it
support,
is.
the audio support, that's when it really starts to come to life.
Come on. So it
All
could
that
suspend.
make
Is it
these
gonna
damage
what?
quality, new damage
What I
die.
want to know is if they're suspended in there. Does it actually suppress them? Because then you don't need anti-champ
You can
mods.
imagine how it could work on paper, but then when we actually
Yeah.
have the final result, wow, this is gonna be something special.
And feels like nothing
will.
else I've ever played before.
I'm excited for
As
Lightfall.
players experiment and figure out all the weird things they can do,
Yeah.
they're gonna get even more excited.
This is cool. Like,
This is
it.
cool.
Once it goes live, then it's like, all right, let's see where players take it, and that's actually really exciting.
Okay, YouTube, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next trailer. Bye-bye.